is the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itami and Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. This is Hard Facts, and I'm Maryann Okon. And I want to say thank you, Sheriff, kisses, for sitting in for me. The day before yesterday was a hassle. Sheriff is always very understanding. He could tell how frustrated I was. Thank you, boss. But I'm so excited to be here. I too like work. I was so excited the moment I walked into the studio. I think this is my happy place. I know this is my happy place. I love it when you guys are here with me. So it's not a show without you guys. Love you for always listening to us on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Of course, we're starting today off with the big three stories for today, and then we'll move on to other matters arising. On Global Review today, I'm going to take you outside of Nigeria and then do a comparison between us and those countries on the cost of living crisis and the cushioning effects. It's a beautiful video a friend of mine sent to me, and I want to use it as a basis for our conversation today on the Global Review. Hopefully we have enough time to get that banter in. And then, of course, on the 4 o'clock hour, we're bringing back Solomon Dalong. Unfortunately, 2 days ago, we were unable to get him because he was someplace where he couldn't get access to connection, and it was, a hassle. So today we're going to have that conversation about the rising insecurity across the country. It's been a week of insecurities for me. I've been talking about terrorism, supposed genocide allegations from the United States. It's a week long of conversations around what's happening in terms of our security as Nigerians. So today we can continue that conversation. My name is Maryann Okon. By the way, we're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. Let's get the conversation on the road. And you know how we start the conversation. In case you're just joining us, this is how we do it.
Get ready for the most important news of the day. It's time for the Big Three Stories on Hard Facts. Tune in to our primetime show for the latest updates and in-depth analysis on the top stories making headlines. From breaking news to in-depth investigations, we bring you the facts you need to know. Join us as we delve into the biggest stories shaping our world today. Tune in to the Big Three every weekday, 3 to 4 p.m. and stay informed with the news that matters the most. Hard Facts, where the truth always comes first.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Facts. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories, we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
It's 2025.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three
on Hard Facts
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Can we leave the studio, please? 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're back. Let's look at the big three stories for today. Kemi, you are a huge distraction. Leave the studio, please. Thank you and God bless. All right, let's start with the Daily Trust newspaper. Presidency, World Bank's poverty report doesn't reflect happenings under Tinubu. Here we go again. Anyway, the presidency has rejected the World Bank's recent report estimating that about 139 million Nigerians are living in poverty, saying the figures do not reflect current realities under the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. In a statement, the special advisor to the president on media and public relations or public communications, Sunday Dare, said the data quoted by the World Bank must be properly contextualized. Grammar. Noting that it is based on historical and modeled estimates rather than real-time assessments. According to the statement, the World Bank estimates, the World Bank's estimate in its entirety was derived from the global poverty benchmark of $2.15 per person per day, set in 2017, I beg your pardon. Where am I going? And under the purchasing power parity, which is the PPP framework. Now, Dare explained that the figure, when converted to today's exchange rate, equals to 100,000 naira per month, an amount that is above Nigeria's new minimum wage of 70,000 naira. He said, and I quote, "The measure is an analytical construct, not a direct reflection of local income realities," he said. The poverty assessment under the PPP methodology relies on outdated consumption data, with Nigeria's last major household survey, which was conducted in 2018 and 2019. He also added that the estimate does not account for the informal and subsistence sectors that sustain millions of households across the country. The presidency maintained that the figure should be regarded as a global model estimate, not an empirical representation of conditions in 2025, and also emphasized that the country's poverty trajectory is now on one of recovery and inclusive reform. Yeah, maybe I should add that we have turned the corner. That the country has indeed turned the corner, like Mr. President said. But if he's talking about the fact that the IMF is not reflecting the realities of today, what is the reality of today? What is the value of the average 70,000 naira income earner? What can 70,000 naira particularly buy? What can it do for us? If we're being as realistic as possible, Mr. Sunday Diary, what is our actual reality today? Here's Mr. President. Maybe this is what Sunday Diary was trying to buttress.
It's a lie from the pit of hell. I've always believed in good governance. And since I assumed office, I focused on your welfare. Today, Nigeria can say confidently we have a well-equipped hospitals and we can treat critical illness such as cancer and other illnesses. We are investing in the welfare of our people. That's what you are doing. Every aspect of the pain in our economy is because of the future. And I am giving you that confidence that right now, this economy will work for you. Not for the smugglers, not for the corrupt people. You are being patient. You will persevere with us. You build an understanding. I assure you, Nigeria has just turned the corner.
Have we? Because that's what Sunday Diary is saying, that our economy is on its path to recovery, or it's actually recovering. And the president is assuring us that Nigeria has indeed turned the corner. And maybe that's what they're emphatically putting it to the IMF. That's why they're saying, look, you're getting it all wrong. You're coming to us with 2019 statistics. We're telling you to find out what's on the ground. Is it that the IMF doesn't, or the World Bank doesn't do its homework before it gives us money? And so when they are criticizing us, maybe they're just doing it out of spite. The bigger question is, who do we believe, the presidency or IMF or the World Bank? Or do we believe ourselves? Because we leave it every single day. I'll leave you to decide on what to believe. Let's move away to the Punch newspaper. Top story here says Shore to lead Free Nnamdi Kanu protest on October 20 in Abuja. Let's find out what that's about. I'm sure a lot of people have talked about it today, but if they haven't, here it goes. Activist and former presidential candidate African Action Congress Omoyele Shore has announced October 20 as a date to have a protest march to demand the release of the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Shore made this known on his Twitter handle on Thursday. According to him, the protest will be a historic march to Aso Villa in Abuja, while assuring that it would be conducted peacefully and legally to demand the release of the IPOB leader. The activist wrote, and I quote, "We now have a date for the historic Free Nnamdi Kanu Now protest, a march to Aso Villa in Abuja. It is October 20 at 7 a.m. He didn't stop there. He went ahead to urge Southeast governors, all of them, the lawmakers, traditional rulers, and all religious leaders to join in his demonstration. In fact, he says, no more empty noise. Let Soludo, Senator Abaribe, Alex Oti, Peter Obi, and all others who claim to care step up and join us in person. He says, every governor, senator, a member of the House, a traditional ruler, priest, Ezes, every Igbo person, and every Nigerian who truly believes in Kanu's freedom should come out and do more talk, or do more than talk. Wait. As much as this sounds like a great idea, and I'm not saying nobody should do it, I'm just saying there are those who would say that this is a bait that would make the government of the day and the people who blindly support the government of the day and the raw news of the world to say, oh, here's another Igbo uprising. I know that there are people who would say that and say, please, oh, we don't want to be part of Igbo's drama before they will say Igbo people have started again. But there are those who also say it's high time this guy be let go. If governors are negotiating with terrorists in real time, Nnamdi Kanu is not terrorizing anybody, is he? Well, if he is, then okay, let the courts do what needs to be done. If they're going to put him in jail, let them put him in jail. If not, let the man go. Two sides to the argument. What's it going to be? Will you go out for this protest? Do you believe in it? Would you support Shore? And why? 0201-277-0993. The phone lines are open. We're live on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. But one last story before we go. Yes, let's talk about the court. A court has ordered the arrest of Professor Yakub Mahmood for contempt. Hold your horses. Let me let you know what exactly it is before you start jumping. So Justice Adefumilola Demi Ajayi of the Federal High Court sitting in Osogbo, Osun State, has ordered the arrest and imprisonment of Professor Mahmood Yakubu for disobeying the court's judgment. Recall that Professor Mahmood stepped down as chairman of INEC after completing his term in office. Now, that's a conversation for another day. However, the court in its order delivered on Monday, September 29, 2025, before Yakubu stepping aside, stated that the commission's boss failed to implement the court order to relist national officers of the Action Alliance on its website. The party in a suit numbered FHC OS 194-2024 sought an order from the court to compel INEC, Professor Yakubu, also to re-enlist the names of Rufai Omoaje-led national executive of the party, which had been illegally removed by the commission's portal. The certified copy of the order was obtained by Vanguard newspaper, which reads, upon the motion on notice dated 14th May 2025, brought pursuant to the order of 35 Rule 1 to 3 of the Federal High Court and Civil Procedures, Rules 2019, Section 72 of Sheriff and Civil Process Act, Order 9, Rule 13 of the Judgment Enforcement Rules, and under the inherent jurisdiction of this honorable court, I beg your pardon, the plaintiffs and judgment creditors seek the following reliefs: an order to commit or off committal to the correctional center, formerly called prisons, of the first defendant, that's INEC, and the second defendant, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, contemnus for disobeying the judgment and orders of the Federal High Court in Oshogbo, Osun State, suit number FHC OSCS delivered on the 17th of February 2025. This order is compelling the defendant and INEC and 9 other contemnors to comply with the judgment and orders of the Federal High Court in Oshogbo that ordered that names of plaintiffs who are state chairman of the Action Alliance elected under Honorable Adekunle Rufai Omoaje-led executive committee that was unconstitutionally removed from INEC's portal be restored. That the first and second defendant respect all judgments in favor of the National Committee of Honorable Adekunle Rufai Omoaje, among others. An order for costs for the first and second defendants, contemnors, act of contempt resulting in financial and private injuries to the plaintiff, and for such an order or further orders that this honorable court may deem fit to make
More
in these
conversation,
circumstances.
more talk.
We've got to go on a break. We'll be right back.
After this. Are you finding it difficult listening to your favorite talk radio Nigeria info via the mobile app? Come closer. Let me fix that for you. Now, launch the app on your device. Click the 3 lines on the top left corner of the app. Look for settings in the drop-down menu and click on it. Turn on the first option that you see. Make sure you turn on the option that says always use highest quality available audio. Now that you have done that, close the app and relaunch it. Voila! I did it! Oh, sorry, you did it. Now you can enjoy your radio anywhere, anytime. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Lagos, get ready. The world's finest modern schools are back on the one roof. ALTS Education invites you to the 2025 International Education Fairs. Thinking of studying abroad? Then don't miss the ALTS Education Fairs for students up to age 18 only. Meet boarding schools from the UK, USA, and Canada. Some of the schools have up to 50% scholarships and financial aid. You'll have the opportunity to meet directly with school admission teams and get interviewed. Join us on Saturday, 11th October 2025, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Radisson Blue Hotel, Zumbambadiwe, Victoria Island, Lagos. And Sunday, 12th October, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Radisson Blue Hotel, formerly Protea, Isaac John Street, GRA Ikeja. Pre-register at www.altsconsulting.com. Telephone 0701-111-1011. Start your study abroad journey with ALTS Education.
Everyone says I'm beautiful and bold. They say I'm fashionable. And to crown it up, very confident. And my secret is...
People say I'm good looking, funny, hardworking, and to crown it up, very confident. And my secret is...
So whether in the office or at home,
in the streets or on the dance floor,
anytime, any day, I never lose my confidence. And the secret to my confidence is Wazobia perfume.
absolutely. Wazobia perfume gives the authenticity and long-lasting fragrance all day. That's my secret confidence.
Wazobia perfume is available in body spray.
Also available in supermarkets and markets near you. Wazobia perfume, the correct scent.
The news you need, the conversation you hear, the station you love.
Petrol exports hit 371 billion naira amid heavy import reliance.
Resident doctors give federal government 30 days to address doctors' demands.
Jonathan will return to Aso Rock as president, says Professor Jerry Ghana.
Those who actually frustrated him out of office may be so desperate to wish him back.
Workers have a right, a constitutionally afforded right, to join unions or not to join.
Madam ADC gives article ultimatum to pick membership card, so he's not even picked his membership card. All these problems.
We are not all we have. You know, they have other things.
Or we're not enough.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This is Hard Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM. My name is Shegwa Rinze.
All right, we're back. It's still Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let me just quickly give you the final part of that court order. It says a cost of 100,000 naira is ordered against the defendants and judgment debtors in favor of the plaintiff's judgment creditors. The suit has as plaintiffs Action Alliance, Professor Julius Abowale, and engineer Olowokere Alabi, barrister Chimuba Zlaik, and Oladile Sunday, etc., etc. Well, the court's order is saying that the Inspector General of Police shall cause the arrest and shall charge the defendant's judgment debtors for contempt and committal proceedings within 7 days of the ruling. And of course, that's talking about INEC and Professor Mahmoud Yakub. But just so you know, he stepped down. So does it still apply? Is the question. And of course, because you and I are not lawyers, we will need a lawyer to expressly interpret this particular one for us. But here's a quick breaking story. The National Council of State unanimously approves appointment of Professor Amopitan as INEC chairman. The National Council of State has approved the nomination of Professor Joash Ojo Amopitan, SAN, from North Central as new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presented Amopitan as the nominee to fill the vacant position following Professor Mahmoud Yakubu's exit. Yakubu served from 2015 to 2025. There you go. Your stories are up to date. Let's go. 0201 277 0993 0201 465 7190. Join the conversation. 0201 277 0993. On WhatsApp is 08095975805. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. Post your comments. On X, use the hashtag hard fact. You have 60 seconds. Go straight to the point. Hello.
Hi, Maryann. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You have Article up here calling from Ikeja.
Go ahead, please.
Number one, on the issue of the economy, I think the president needs to divorce or serve breakfast, as we say, to the World Bank and the IMF. They are just to push him to the hellfire, and they have done that successfully.
How are they pushing him to hellfire, please?
Yeah, when they were giving him instructions and he was following them. We said it from the beginning. All of the things they recommended were all toxic. It's not for us here. They are just colonialists and just, but unfortunately, he was looking for their favor, and because of his own indiscipline in terms of financial management as well, he followed everything thinking they're going to borrow him money, and he keeps borrowing money. The problem of the economy is, number one, subsidy is gone statement without plan. Number two, the floating of the naira. Then on two, the Nnamdi Kanu issue, I completely agree with Sowore. Nnamdi Kanu is facing persecution. The Nigerian state is persecuting because it's Igbo, and we have to tell ourselves the truth.
Okay.
The Supreme Court said the action of the government of Nigeria was criminal. Going to Kenya to kidnap this man is criminal. He went to his house, killed 20 people in his house.
All right.
It's rubbish.
Titilakwe, thank you so much for calling. 0201 277 0993 0201 465 7190. That is for the ladies. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, Maryann.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How was your day?
Good. Day is still going on, I see.
This is Sunday. I'm calling from Mikure.
Today, go ahead, please.
You know, I'm very happy for you for saying to mobilize protest against the federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu, because despite after all, they are giving amnesty to the terrorists. So what is the offense of the Nnamdi Kanu for detaining? What is he still doing in detention up to now? I don't know what is going on. That you feed the man now, because they are saying nepotism on that particular matter, and this is our fellow southern border.
So when you say they're playing nepotism, sorry, I'm not holding brief for the government, but when you say they're playing nepotism, don't forget that it was not Tinubu that arrested Nnamdi Kanu. It was Buhari.
But it's the federal government case now. If the government should continue to do it time of Buhari, and the government still continue up to now.
But then
the federal government that still need the guy, they can give order to release him.
But there are court
how
processes.
it is in our
The cases are in court. He keeps going back and forth the court. So how's that going to be handled also?
What are the federal government still holding it for? Because they presented the case to the court, and I did not see anything fought against the guy.
Okay.
And the guy is supposed to be clear.
Okay.
All
right.
So afterwards, the terrorists are doing a lot in our nation. Afterwards, they free them. Why the guy is not free?
All right.
I want to know.
Thank you, Tunde, for calling. Interesting question you're asking. I cannot give you the answer because I myself, I don't know. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Yeah, Maryann, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Bless. I'm calling from Nigeria.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah, why is it that the people are putting, I don't know, Nigeria, putting mouth and putting things if they are not supposed to do?
Blessed, I can't hear what you're saying. Oh.
Are you hearing me? Hello?
Now I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, what I'm saying in essence is that Nigeria, this is the reason why we see keep hearing that they will say they recruit terrorists and respectfully back to the society. Someone will do evil, they will not condemn it. So why we hear that one person will come out and say he recruit terrorists and bandits back into the society? What Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for Nigeria, fighting for the people who fighting over what we are using violence to fight for. Are you working for the? Okay, look at.
Okay, Blessed, your time is up, and I was really waiting for you to land. You've just been going all over the place, and you've done more than 60 seconds. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good afternoon, Maryann.
Good afternoon.
I'm speaking to you from Epe.
Go ahead.
First off, on the World Bank, they are right. Okay, the president fought for their tricks, just like Mr. Titilope said. It's high time, we begin to think, ourselves, how to grow ourselves, and then with the logic, to use and so on, without waiting for these people, to lead us. And then when they lead us into Golgotha, they turn their back, and then we are in mess. Then coming back to the Nnamdi Kanu issue, I support those who want to protest, not because Nnamdi Kanu hasn't committed any offense also, because to be honest with you, he instigated violence, and so on. But people have done the same thing or even more that the government has let go, from the days of Buhari. So the government should try as much as possible, to fix this, because we need to bring in unity. And then if you make some people more equal than the other, it means that there won't be balance, and that in itself, won't bring peace, to the country. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you very much for calling. I do appreciate it. 0201-277-0993. I did hear the conversation about gas yesterday with you guys and Sheriff, and I did get a clip of the group managing director of the NMPCL, Bayo Ojulari. I hope I got his name right. Is that how it's pronounced? And he had some interesting points to make about why gas is where it is. But I don't know if it suffices. So let's listen to Mr. Ojulari. And this is from the Premium. This is courtesy of the Premium Times newspaper. Just take a quick listen and then we'll talk more.
It was quite unfortunate that the Dangote and Bengasin issue, led to the strike. And as you know, whenever there's strike and critical staff manning critical facilities are not available, it's almost impossible. In this particular case, we actually lost significant production of almost over 200,000 barrels per day of production that was deferred. We also have gas production that was deferred, and power generation also was impacted. About 1.2 megawatts of power was affected by that strike. But I think I'm very pleased that the federal government, through the leadership of the Federal Minister for Labor and also full support from the National Security Advisor, we're able to pull together everyone into a dialogue and bring everybody to the table. And now there's been a communique that has been agreed on the way forward. we're all very hopeful that everyone will abide by those communiques. So since then, we've been able to return quite a number of the production back to status quo. There are one or two areas where we're still trying to catch up. But overall, we are gradually gone back to restore the lost production and the deferments that we have as of today.
Biojewelry there. There's a lot to unpack in this one, but I'll leave it for next week. But he mentioned about gas and certain operations restored to normalcy, and some still yet to be restored to normalcy. There's a lot to talk about there, Mr. Jewelry, but I'll leave that for another day. But the phone lines are open. Let's talk. 0201 277 0993. In case you do not know what the big stories are today, let's start with the fact that former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore is calling for a peaceful protest for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. The presidency is disagreeing with the World Bank on its statistics and the measurements they've used to talk about the current rate of poverty in Nigeria. And most importantly, a court has ordered the arrest and imprisonment of former INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakub. And he has been replaced, as I told you a few minutes ago. While we continue in the conversation, before we wrap things up, I'll give you a little bit of background on who the new guy is. In the meantime, 60 seconds is all you have. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good afternoon, Maryann.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Speaking.
Go ahead.
From Honolulu. Maryann, the same World Bank that said the Naira is overvalued, the same World Bank that gave them the idea of how to disvalue the Naira, now they are saying the World Bank is wrong. It's not the World Bank motive they followed to say subsidy is gone, to say the Naira is overvalued, to disvalue the Naira. And now they are complaining. And he's saying it's 2019. In 2019, that Ojo, what was his name, was a minister. He's not ashamed of himself. For in the Kanu crisis, to me, the elite of the Igbo doesn't want that guy to be released. And it's a shame to the government that can give Boko Haram terrorist
and where did you
people.
sorry Malik, where did you get this intel from?
Okay.
And the fact that you know,
I said to me.
What informed that idea of yours?
Because the elite in the east are not kind of loud.
Says who? I mean, we've reported many times. I'm not holding brief for them, but we've reported many times where they've gone there as high-powered delegations to see Buhari. They've gone to see Tinubu at the beginning of this administration. I don't know if it's enough for you to say that they haven't done anything.
Terrorists that killed people are given 15 years, 5 years in prison, are given pardon. Terrorists that kill people, that make people fatherless and homeless, the government will give them pardon.
All right.
Did this guy have any gun with him? Well, and Nigeria will do. When you're from the east, that's will punish you.
All right. Thank you, Malik, for calling. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hi, Maryann. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome on the show.
Thank you.
So first off, Nnamdi Kanu, against all verdicts that he should be released. Let's even go with the rule of law. Why is he still in jail? So I support this protest wholeheartedly. Let's just leave every other thing. The people that they've released or the people that are working freely, what did they do that Nnamdi Kanu did that is even different from what he has done? The rule of law said release this man. How come he's still there? That's the question. If government is continuous, like they keep saying, it should be out by now. That's number one. Number two, whatever they have said concerning gas, see, I don't believe in the tabloids or what I read. My own is match your actions or match what you are saying with reality. Is it the present day or the average Nigerian reality? The answer is no. If gas is in circulation, we will see it at a reduced price. So whatever it is they are saying there does not match the reality of Nigerians. Let me see gas and they will know. Then on arrest of Mahmoud Yakub, I don't know whatever they want to hold him for, but I want to say they should arrest him for the gross misdemeanor he committed during the election period.
Well,
he was
unfortunately, the arrest cannot be randomly done because none of you went to court in that regard.
He's backing honors of OON or CON. It is wrong. That is what he's arresting for.
Thank you very much.
What he was supposed to do. That's my anger, my grouse.
All right, thank you. But you see, the courts can't just wake up and whip up, a sentence. There has to be a court process based on whatever it is that you want him to be arrested for. Do you understand? Thank you. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
My name is Perry. I'm calling from Awoyaya.
Hello, Perry.
Yeah. Talking about the Bretton Woods institutes or whatever they are called, the IMF, World Bank, and what have you. These guys don't have our interest at heart. From the word go, they don't have our interest as a people. But we have leaders who are not visionary. We have leaders who don't have anything upstairs, who will take anything that are told from, from behind the scene. And the same people will come, to the open and begin to criticize the same, instructions and advice and counsel that are given to them, as if they are not, they are detached. They are not the ones who have given them all those nonsense instructions and advice and counsel. It is our leaders. You don't blame them. It's the leaders. We don't have people who are thinkers. We have people who are selfish. We have people who want to just advance their own personal interest and cause. So that's the problem we have in this country.
Okay.
Especially in Nigeria. Now, concerning Nnamdi Kanu,
your time has gone,
it's overdue. They should release him.
All right.
They should release him.
All right. But are you going to join the protest? No one's answering me. Are you going to show up? Because they're saying everyone should come out and protest. Are you going to join it? Do you support the protest to start with? That's the question. I'm going to go read some messages, but let me take one last call before I do that. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Princess Maryann, good evening or good afternoon. Peter Bond from
Hello,
from
Prince Peter.
Yeah, quickly. When IMF and World Bank have gotten what they want to get from Nigeria and use all the tactics and that's to get, why would they not begin to tell you what they want to tell you? And this is why the government of the day keeps falling. We borrow and borrow and borrow, and today the borrowing is heaped on this generation to come. Then you said something, if I'm correct me, that a new INEC chairman has been appointed by Mr. President, which is going to, and it's from the North Central. My question is this. The last, before then, Tahiru Jega was from the North. This is from the North. Why not? Why still? I'm from the North Central, as it is called, and I will not support another man coming from the North Central. What happens to the eastern part of Nigeria? Can the chairman not come from the eastern part of Nigeria? Is the government of the day afraid of the eastern of manipulation? That's my question. Good evening, Maryann, or good afternoon.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. I'm not going to answer that question. I'm going to have a conversation about it on Monday, by the way. I'm going to have a former IPAC chairman join me from the FCT as we talk about this, of course, Mahmoud Yakubu's tenure. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the new guy and what he brings to the table. Who exactly is he? And in talking about who exactly this guy is, let me give you some background as to who he is, okay? He was born April 25, 1967. After completing primary and secondary education, he attended Kwara State Polytechnic Ilorin from 1982 to 1984 and the University of Jos from 1984 to 1987. He was called to the bar in 1988. He earned an LLM in UniJos in 1993 and a PhD in 2007. Amid an academic career that began in 1989 following his national youth service at the Bauchi State Publishing Corporation in Bauchi from 1988 to 1989, he currently serves as Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration at the University of Jos, a position he holds in conjunction with being Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council of Joseph Ayo Babalola University in Osun State. Among the academic positions he's held at UniJos are Chairman of the Committee of Deans and Directors, Dean of the Faculty of Law, and Head of Public Law. Outside of academics, Amul Piton serves as board member of Integrated Dairies, I'm sure it's Dairies Limited in VOM. A member of the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies Governing Council, and a member of the Council of Legal Education. Among other roles, he was a board member of Risk Oil Limited in Abuja. And it just goes on and on and on. He's the author of many books such as Corporate Governance, Models and Principles. Well, we're going to see, all of these books. The documentary, Evidence in Nigeria, Evidence, Law, Theory and Practice, Principles of Law, and Introduction of Law of Trust in Nigeria. They will all be put to test. He's married and he's got 4 children. So a little bit of background. You can do some more research on this professor as we get ready to saddle him with the biggest responsibility a nation can have, which is run the elections. Welcome to Hard Facts. Turn off your radio.
Hello?
0. You can't call the female line, sir. Let me read some messages. Chinedu here has a very funny message, so I'm just going to skip it. John Bennett says, Tinubu's reforms are not working. No need for the propaganda. Chijoke Nebe here says, the federal government is shopping for a favorable judgment against Namdi. They're waiting for a compromised judge that will find him guilty of phantom offenses. The government will only obey the judgment that finds Kanu guilty. A.B. Ambo here says, the IMF and World Bank are the only constitutions or institutions in the world that can tell us when the economy is developing of developing nations is improving, though it is in their interest to perpetually keep them in a state of economic stagnation. Okay, but the sad part of that is that the leadership of underdeveloped countries are knowingly or unknowingly walking along this line. Long message, so I'm going to skip it. Big Murphy here says, Shore is trying to use his match for Nnamdi Kanu to silence NSA's Memorial Day revolution he never supported because it didn't revolve around him. Shore works for anyone in power. Lovely. Another angle. Oshodia Lawrence, thank you very much for your message. I'm going to move away from Facebook Live and go to YouTube Live. So if you're watching on YouTube, post your comments. I would like to read from you. Thank you, Robert, for your message. I appreciate it on Facebook Live. Let's go to WhatsApp. I have 4 minutes. I've got to run through these messages. All right, this one says, Nnamdi Kanu is being tried in court. His trial must be concluded and judgment based on justice be delivered. Let the law take its course. If found guilty, let him face the law. If not found guilty, let him be released. What's the essence of a protest when a case is in court? Basil, thank you for your message. Uche Victor from Sango here says, Shore should also protest against Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers. They're also the ones dealing the case. It's interesting how you guys come up with all these things. Godwin from Ikorodu says, many terrorists have been arrested with arms and later freed. Why can't they release Nnamdi? This one here says, please tell Mr. Bully that Nnamdi Kanu is not in jail. He's in detention. He's not been sentenced. I want him released unconditionally. Oh, you want him released unconditionally? Okay, lovely. The INEC chairman must explain to us the glitches that occurred in 2023 during the presidential election and why he announced the results at midnight. Well, he's no longer INEC chairman. I mean, I'm sure you can find him somewhere and have a conversation with him, buy him coffee or something, and he might explain. But that's not what the court is asking him to be arrested for. Capish? I took time to read it. This one here says, whether anyone likes it or not, Kanu has a case to answer. The government should just do the needful on the case once and for all. Adini from Ogun State. Okay. This one says, the first caller has hit the nail on the head. Tinubu has fell for the traps of the IMF and the World Bank. He has swallowed their advice, hook, line, and sinker. He should put the food on the table for Nigerians. Afiz Lawal, thank you very much for your message. Macduff from Warri here says, I bet you, Maryann, if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was a Northerner, he won't be in prison. He's not in prison. He's in detention. He's in custody. He's not in prison. He's not been sentenced to a correctional facility yet. Anyway, he says Nnamdi Kanu never did quarter of what the northern bandits have done. Nigerian government keeps massaging the ego of these terrorists with open embrace. What is this country? I do not want us to necessarily compare and contrast anything. I think I want to have a conversation about this Nnamdi Kanu. I think I have had a very sincere conversation about it. And I think I would rather have this conversation with all my colleagues in the studio, because at the time when Radio Biafra was a thing, I used to do the show with Kofi back in the day in Port Harcourt. I remember how the NBC had to keep tackling Radio Biafra. And some of the videos and the audio clips that we had at the time, I don't want to believe that we forget quickly and then we allow sentiments to rule the future. Again, there's a case in court. Someone here says, on IMF, our dear Mr. Sunday Diary, the fact IMF is addressing our unsteady growth level but low per capita income, high inflation and poverty rising, coupled with food insecurity and high insecurity challenges, the reforms is not showing any effects on Nigerians, maybe 2%. Where's the progress that the federal government is claiming? Yummy, thank you for your message. I'm going to have to go on a break in a bit, but I'm going to try to read as much as possible to read all the messages that I have now. This one says, we don't need World Bank report to know how much people are suffering. The suffering in the land is huge. Kanu's case is becoming political. What Shore is about to do shows that he's a man that has empathy and loves justice. I'm beginning to love that man. Benisa, EJ. Benisa, but there are those who say that day is specifically a day to remember October 20, 2020. That this might also be a distraction. I love how you guys think. So Daniel from Igondo says, since Tinubu came into power, they've crippled Nigeria's economy. High cost of living, fuel increase, now gas. Tinubu has built hospitals. Please let him list the name of hospitals and their addresses. It is a big shame. Shame to the APC. Please let us chase them out in 2027. Thank you, World Bank. You did well by disgracing them. Wow. Okay, guys, I've got to go. On the other side of the clock, on the 4 o'clock hour on Global Review, we're going to be talking about cost of living crisis in Nigeria and outside of Nigeria and what other countries are doing to cushion the effects as opposed to what we are doing. Stay with us. We'll be back after the break.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
As we mark another client service week, Cool FM, Wazobia FM,
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.